Hello and welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Just fresh off pissing off all of the my Auburn fans out there. You know, I'm now an Auburn hater.
Well, you've always hated Auburn pretty much your whole life, so
Yeah.
it's typical that it would come out now here on one of your lives.
Yeah, you know.
Yep.
I'm an Auburn hater now.
Well, it happens. You know, you coached at Alabama. You were part of
That's why.
You were part of the Alabama machine, trying to keep Auburn down.
Just trying to keep them down. You know, guess they forget that other part. You know,
You mean the part about you going to school there and playing there and meeting your wife there?
my wife, the gymnast there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Shout out to me. I was recruiting before I was recruiting. How about that?
How about that?
3-time world champ. How about that?
But you never used your binoculars
No,
against Auburn,
no. Actually, I did.
did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they just didn't get caught on camera and made a big deal out of it.
No.
Okay.
You know what else didn't get caught on camera? Now I can say a lot of things, though. This hasn't come out in a while. Some things have changed. You know what pisses me off about that whole deal?
I don't.
I don't know if I even told you this.
The
You may.
binoculars gate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that our good friend Hugh, you know, he flamed the or
Fan the flames. He did.
You know?
He did. He was known for that.
And I'm like, dude, like, was I not in the box on a headset for you the year before stealing signals? Do you know when we beat Auburn at home and
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
And Jeff Scott called a check down on 4 vertical.
At that point, for people who are new to the show, you were an assistant at Ole Miss with Hugh Freeze, right?
I literally, and Van Gorder was the defensive coordinator for Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And he had very easy signals to steal. I literally was rattling off every coverage, every blitz before we called the play that whole game. And knew exactly what they were doing on that play and where the ball was going to go. That's why the ball got dumped down to Jeff and he spun out of it and scored. Won the game.
Yeah.
But we forget that part.
Well,
we leave those things out of it.
I have learned things that make people mad. There is just no nuance.
Like there's literally video evidence of it, by the way, too.
Well, there's a like one of the pivotal moments of my career as a journalist was the 2016 NFL draft.
That was
There's a video of the press conference. It's not like it's a big secret.
And you get accused of asking questions you didn't ask.
Oh, I mean, it completely changed. That night completely changed so many things in my life.
Yeah. Revisionist history, man. You know? And, you know, I can say this now.
I mean, my oldest daughter, I did not know this. I did not know this until she was a sophomore in college. That night and the immediate after that math of that night led to her firming in her mind, I am not going to school in Mississippi.
Changed everybody's life.
Yeah.
It's like there was
if she doesn't go, I mean, think about, I mean, there's the butterfly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's like the, before we get started, nobody cares about the audio file in this part anyway, but when there was a rule back then, you know, they were very stingent on like what you could do and what you couldn't do and the numbers of the headsets and all that stuff. So Corey Batoon, shout out my guy, Corey Batoon, defense coordinator at Missouri. So it was Dan Werner, me, Dave Womack, and then Corey in the front row right there on TV for everybody to see. And so they had this rule to where you couldn't like communicate or talk on a headset. So Corey and I were over the number. So we would do this thing. It's great if you go back and like actually find the TV copy of this. Corey and I would take our headset. And so like for those that don't know, on the headsets, there is like an automatic shut off. If you pull your headset up, it kind of rotates and it turns it off. But we would leave it on talk and we would have the headset, the microphone like right here where we just didn't flip it up all the way. We would leave it right here and just talk away. just like normal. But yeah, that was shout out NCAA. Statute of limitations is gone. Anyway, there you go.
How about that?
How about that? All right, let's get rolling.
All right, we'll get rolling. For anybody that wonders what I'm doing, I'm desperately searching for the Thunder schedule. It's coming out like right now. It's apparently out, but it's not out.
So it's kind of it's semi-released.
Yeah. They I don't think they've put the whole thing out just yet. 18 weekend games at home. See that? Just waiting.
New arena, right? Will they be in it or no?
No, the new arena's
It's not even close, but I didn't know how fast.
I think they
they're
have this year and next year in the new arena, in the old arena, and then they'll move into the new arena.
Well, they've moved a lot of dirt, sir.
2028.
I walked around it. I saw it myself.
All right, here we go. We'll get rolling. Welcome into episode 375 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready, joined by Tyler Siskey here in the Clark Ford Studios on this sunny, hot Thursday afternoon. It's August the 13th. Hope everyone is having a great kind of close to your week as we get closer to another August weekend, another weekend closer to the start of the football season. We'll talk about football in a moment. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you every episode by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. You can learn more on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel.
Neal, I'm rocking with the oldie but a goodie right here. How about this? Your boy is rocking with the cherry limeade today. I think you like the cherry limeade.
I do.
Rocking with a cherry limeade today. Getting my mind right for all the fun discussion we're about to have in just a second. But before we have that discussion, it's probably very important for me to tell everybody that the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey, who is that you're asking? It's County Line Campers. Mm-hmm. And you're saying, Tyler, tell me where to find County Line Campers.
Yes.
And I will tell you, they're right there off exit 38, I-10 in the wonderful metropolis of Gulfport, Mississippi. That's right. You go down I-10. You take a left right off of I-38. Just go south like you're heading toward the beach. Right there on the right is going to be our good friend Rob. He's going to be there at County Line Campers because we all know that summer is winding down. Mother Nature does not know it, though, but the schedules, school is back, okay? Summer is winding down, even though she hasn't been informed. Right now, it's camping season. It's getting ready to go. You're getting ready to go tailgate at your favorite place. Shout out to all my Auburn people who tailgate like no other. RVs everywhere. It's a culture down there. If you need to get your RV service, or if you just need to trade it in and get you a pre-loved RV, or by God, you want to get you a brand spanking new RV, you go check out County Line Campers. Right now at County Line Campers, check this out. This is what's really cool. My man Rob is just going all techno on me. So right now you can go to countylinecampers.com. And if you're not local and you can't get there, you can go on and request a virtual demo. That's right. He'll get right there on the camera with you, take you through, show you everything. And if you need to get your RV service before you take it up to your favorite college to watch them play this fall and watch people play that you don't know their name. Watch people that are getting highly overpaid sitting the bench. Right now, you go to County Line Campers, and they're going to get you serviced in the same day. Why? Because they are the only same-day service center in the business. So go to countylinecampers.com. That was mid-season form right there. We're also brought to you by Prime. That's right, Prime. Prime is a modern at-home lab testing kit that puts you in control. You can go right now, because right now you're sitting here, you're listening, you're going, what the hell is this guy talking about? It's you. I'm talking to you because your energy level is low. Some of you people may be out there, you may be driving a Subaru right now. You may be driving a Subaru in your red horn rim glasses with blue hair. You may be munching on your boneless chicken wings for lunch. And right now, that tells me that you need to get your hormone level checked. That's right. Go to getprime.com. That's GETPRYM.com. Right now, you go to getprime.com if you need to get your hormones, your energy levels, your metabolism, or just your overall wellness checked. They will take care of it. Works for men and women too. So you can go there, pick out the kit that you want. In the checkout code, you enter the promo code MPW. What is that going to get, you're asking? That's going to get you 20% off of your first order. So make sure you go to getprime.com. How about that?
Hey, and you might have noticed on the screen, we have a new advertiser.
Get the horn going, man.
Oh, we need to get horn.
Get the horn going.
Our friends at Gather Systems join the McCready and Siskey family. You might ask, what is Gather Systems?
You may.
It's a good question.
Valid question.
I mean, it's a legitimate.
I'm kind of curious myself.
It's a legitimate question. They design, install, and support professional technology systems for athletics facilities, schools, businesses,
Yeah.
churches, got the big mega churches, you know?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I go to one.
And venues.
Yep.
So we got a lot of coaches, athletic directors, school people that watch our show.
Yep.
Most like us. Some get a little irritated. But you know how you go to football games and you hear the announcer and it sounds like on the tackle. And you can't see the video's bad. And you're like, where did I go back in time? Gather Systems can take care of that. Because they specialize, Tyler, in technology that improves the game day experience. LED video scoreboards. Everybody likes those.
Everybody.
Stadium sound systems. Video displays. High definition film room.
Yep.
Video walls. Special effect lighting. Control systems. Supporting network infrastructure. They can help schools upgrade an existing stadium or gym, replace an aging scoreboard or a sound system, or design the technology for an entire new athletic facility. I've seen some of the stuff that they've done at different schools. Man, we didn't have that when we were pups back in the day. Anyway, for businesses, they can provide conference room technology, commercial audio systems, video walls, TVs, digital signage, video distribution, much, much more. Whether it's a stadium, a gym, an office, a church, restaurant, event venue, they can help you. They got decades of real-world experience in live sound, video production, installed AV, system integration, and more. They'll work with you to help design what you need for your project, your school. Email sales@gathersystems.com, or you can call my buddy Hudson Chadwick. I can't read today. At 601-594-8917, or you can go to gathersystems.com.
How about that?
Gathersystems.com.
Welcome. Let's go. All right, let's get into it, Neal. You know, we haven't done this yet. And I have purposely, as you know, we've talked about this. I've purposely been pumping the brakes on this. Because this is something a lot of people do. You know, they do it in June, they do it in July. Well, I'm starting to get in the football mode a little bit. You know,
because it's finally football season.
Well, I feel like my football season never ended.
Well, that's true.
So it's been, I needed a break.
You did. I needed a football break.
I needed a football break. So I was a little late to the game, not like I was last year. So I really started to take some time and really, and I'd done most of the schools or whatever, the bigger schools, but when it just really took a deep dive. So what we're going to do today, Neal, this will be fun for all the chat. What we'll do today is we're going to go through the conferences.
Okay.
And we're going to say what teams have a realistic chance of making the playoffs.
Okay.
I already got mine down.
Making the CFP.
And then Neal, we're going to talk about how many teams do you think realistically have a shot to win the damn thing?
To win the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Sounds fun.
So we'll start with the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Okay.
All right. As you can see, I'm putting on my glasses, Neal, because your boy has an eye appointment tomorrow. Shout out AJ's probably really excited about this. My vision has gotten terribly worse recently. Shout out to so I'm gonna go get checked tomorrow. So I got my eyes with me so I can see really well and don't get a freaking headache.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Neal, the ACC. And if you disagree, these are the 4 teams I think have a legitimate chance, roster-wise, to find themselves in the playoffs different ways.
Okay.
I got 4.
Oh, okay.
I got 4.
That's ambitious.
I'm not saying all 4 are getting in.
I understand. This is to be clear.
Yes.
To be clear, for the people who hate and they rage.
They will.
You rage tweet. You lose your minds.
Yep.
Calm down. Let's try it again.
Try it again. Number 1, Neal.
These are teams that we believe could have a path to make the playoff.
This is correct.
That's it.
That's all. Deep breath. Neal, team number 1.
Okay.
The Miami Hurricanes. Are you shocked? Are you shocked?
No, I agree with you on Miami. Miami has a very legitimate path to make the playoff.
All right, and then I was listening to Josh Pate. I think this was last week. I don't know. My brain's starting to fry a little bit. I was listening to Josh. Josh had a great point, okay? I'm going to talk about some questions, but Josh brings up a great point. Questions aren't weaknesses.
No.
Okay. The only really question, first of all, they got Darian Mensah at quarterback, transferred from Duke, transferred before that from Tulane. I've seen him live and in person before. I think this guy's a real deal. If it was, I think he's in the conversation to be the best quarterback in the country. I would probably put him in that 1-2 for me. I like C.J. Carr at Notre Dame, but Mensah's right there with him. So they got the quarterback part right. So the interesting thing, and when you say, is there a question about Miami? And it's not even a question because I don't doubt it or all that stuff. Is they're losing real players up front on both sides of the ball. And if you watch them, when they got in their groove last year, they completely dominated both lines of scrimmage late in the year, particularly in the playoffs. That's how they got to where they were. They were lining up and freaking playing duo play action pass on offense and just pounding you to death. They had a power running game going. And then defensively, they could get to you with the front four. One interesting part here with their offensive line I thought was very interesting. Okay. And their offensive line, all of these guys that are going to be playing for them and starting for them are homegrown. There's no portal guys.
Okay.
So the question is, hey, those guys are going to be, they've been homegrown. They understand the culture. They've been through Miraball's a great offensive line coach. Obviously, Mario's a great offensive line coach. He's the head coach. It's something he takes personal. But they don't have a bunch of portal guys up front. It's their guys that they've had there. So, but having to replace that, how does that look? But the rest of them are going to be great, right? And then defensively, same thing with the defensive line. I think they're going to be really good. I mean, they are like, I'm talking about, they probably got I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9. They probably got 10 of their 11 starters on defense are probably going to play in the NFL. Now, you're still having to replace the starters from last year, Mesidor and all the guys, and Bain that were just so dominant up front. They're having to replace that. But again, they got the right guys. So that would be, if I had questions, that would be it. How do they play together? Because you never know with how they play together and all that stuff. But from just an overall, I think they'll be a contender. But those are questions. I know as we go into this, I can probably say offensive line is going to be a question mark for our team because I haven't talked to a single coach yet that goes, hey, man, our offensive line's great. Haven't talked to one.
I talked to a person yesterday who said that's just everyone's understanding that this is kind of sport wide.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So I mean, you take a contending team and they lose 3 offensive line starters for some reason, they're probably no longer a contending team.
It's going to be difficult
out of their control. Yeah, it is what it is. Yep.
All right, team number 2. A lot of Ole Miss fans will get to see this up close and personal. The Louisville Cardinals. A lot of people forget that Louisville actually beat Miami last year. They got the Brown and Brown show at running back. Look, there's a lot of questions like, hey, how they got the Kyle Holtz kid from Ohio State transfers to be the starting quarterback at Louisville. But I will say this. I've always said this. I think Brom is probably, of all, you're always like, who's the best coach? He gets left off all those lists. And if I was an AD and I was hiring a coach, he's getting a phone call. You know what I mean? Like he would be on my regard. If I used to say, hey, you can pick any coach to interview, he's getting I don't care how short the list is, he's getting a call. The guy's won everywhere he's been. He is a offensive mastermind, and it's like, and he's he develops. I love that system. And y'all know that if you've listened to the show longer than this is a Petrino family system. I love that system. I think it's elite when it comes to finding mismatches and motions and adjustments. They always, and it has answers. I love the system. I think he's a great coach. I mean, he won at Purdue. He's won everywhere he's been, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the guy's a hell of a coach. And so I think they have a legit shot to get to the playoffs. Although, is there one or is there 2 teams? And I'm going to say this as we get in, we're talking this playoff discussion. I think this is the year that the number 10, because of the SEC doing what they're doing, and we'll get to the SEC in a second, and how I think they're going to cannibalize each other. I think the number 10 is so critical for all these Power 4 conferences. And you look at this, Ole Miss and Louisville playing. I mean, these are 2 teams that when they leave the hotel on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day they play on, they expect to win, and somebody's not. And now you got 11 more to go play. So, but getting to 10 is critical. But I think that their path, obviously, if they're playing, if they lost that game, then obviously went into the league, win the championship game. All right, any disagreement so far?
Nope.
Team number 3. This is not any order, by the way. The SMU Mustangs. I think they've done an unbelievable job building a roster. They've been kind of ahead of the game a little bit when it comes to building rosters as far as contracts and how they handle things in the culture.
Got a lot of money in Highland Park.
They do. They have a lot of money, but they've been doing it. They're not spending like.
Well, you don't have to in the ACC.
Yeah, they're not spending as much as you like the other teams are doing, right? But
you don't have to.
But they're spending. Don't get me wrong. They're spending.
Yeah. But you don't have to spend $50 million or $40 million in the ACC to make the playoff.
Well, here's the other thing.
Because you don't play a SEC schedule or a Big Ten schedule. You play an ACC schedule.
I think it's a team that a lot of schools probably should need to study if that information ever became public. Because, one of the reasons I think that they're not spending as much is I think they're smarter with their contracts. I think they've done a good job with their contracts and leading up to where they don't have to go out and overspend all the time, right? So, but Jennings is coming back. They got really good players. And I think they're going to have, I'm a big Rhett Lashley guy. I think he's really good. I think they're going to be a contender year in, year out, as long as he's there and as long as we're in this era, for sure. All right, and the last team is the Clemson Tigers. A lot of people sleeping on the old Clemson Tigers, Neal.
I disagree with you here, but go ahead.
Okay, a lot of people sleeping on the Clemson Tigers. Everybody's this, everybody's that. I'm not sleeping on the old Clemson Tigers. Look, Clemson, it's going to come down pretty simple. Everybody's like, well, what happened to this team? They got to have good quarterback play. At the end of the day, that's what they got. If they want to get to the next thing, you got Chad Morris back as the offensive coordinator. But you got Vizina. I always mispronounce this kid's name. He's from Briarwood, but Chris Vizina. Look, he's been around. He's 4th year in the program. He's been there. He understands what it's all about, what they do. But they got good players. Okay, and if they had good quarterback play last year, they'd have won a couple more games. And people forget 2 years ago they were in the playoffs, and everybody's wanting to fire Dabo and all this stuff. And I just say, well, you're going to fire a guy that's won 2 national championships in 168 games in the last 15 years. Like, we've moved on. Like, it's so week to week now. But inside the ACC, people seem to forget they were a 9-win team when they went to the ACC championship game a couple years ago, right? So finding a way to do that inside that league. And I think they got some games, and they've avoided some landmines in that league schedule wise. So if they have good quarterback play, I think they can be there. So I got 4 teams I think that can get to the playoffs from the ACC. So you're at 3.
Yeah, I'm at 3, and if you told me there was a 4th, I would tell you it's not Clemson and maybe it's Virginia. But I think there's 3. I think. Look,
I think the Virginia Cavaliers are getting beat week 1.
I don't even know who they play.
North Carolina State.
Okay.
Do you know who the quarterback for Virginia is now, by the way?
No clue.
Bo Prabula, the kid from Missouri last year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I played a game the other day. I guessed the quarterback. It was pretty fun.
I would do poorly.
Do you know where Jaden Rashada is?
He is at Sacramento State.
Nope.
Incarnate Word.
Nope.
ULM.
Nope.
I don't know.
Mississippi State.
Jaden Rashada's at State? Is he really?
Yeah. You know where Jackson Arnold is?
He's still playing?
Jackson Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting quarterback.
Oklahoma State.
UNLV. We should have played this game. I came this close to I came close. We should have played this game.
I would be terrible.
It would kind of had a lot of shuffling
it's
decks.
But I freely tell people, look, if you're coming here for football expertise, that's him.
I'm just a has-been.
I'm not that, and don't claim to be. No, I think. And so I'll answer the second question too. Which teams out of the ACC do I think could win the national championship? I think it's just one, Miami.
Agree.
That's it.
Agree. I think they're the only one built for because it's a whole different. We're talking about making the playoffs versus there's 2 different formulas.
And by the way, the only way that Louisville or SMU make the playoff is if they get to the ACC championship game and pull off an upset. That's, in my opinion, that's a.
So but what if
I'm saying that is in all likelihood a 1-bid league. It's only a 2-bid league. I think the only way it's a 2-bid league is if an 11-1 or 12-0 Miami were to lose the ACC title game. That's it.
I disagree a little bit, but it's just because I don't think there's going to be as many SEC teams in.
Oh, you could be right.
And I think there's going to be. I think you're going to look up, and then there's a reason I've been having these 10-3, 9-3 discussions, because you're going to look up. But like, all right, you look at Louisville's schedule.
I will say this: I do think behind the scenes, in the month of November, if it looks like a 9-3 SEC team is going to lose out to a 10-2 or 11-1 ACC or Big 10 team, Big 12 team, I think you'll see some threats.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. But
maybe publicly.
All right, I'm not going win-loss toss, but I just want their schedule, right? They avoided Miami in the schedule.
Who's they?
Louisville.
Okay.
Now, you got Ole Miss, so you just like replace them, right? But they get open with Ole Miss. They got Villanova. They host SMU. All right, they host Wake Forest, who's going to be better. They're at NC State. They host Florida State. They're at Syracuse, home against Stanford, at Georgia Tech, at North Carolina, home against Pitt, and at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think getting to 10 there, even if they lose the first game, I still think it's.
I guess my point is at 10-2, they would have to win the ACC championship game. They couldn't go 10-3 and get in.
So I think I guess my point of drill is I'm damn near convinced myself that there's not going to be enough 10-win teams in the Big 10 and SEC, and there's going to be others that are going to leave out. That's just kind of where.
Yeah, it could be.
In the past, it's been just the opposite. But anyway, all right, Neal, how about us? Let's go to the Big 10.
Okay.
The Big 10. I have 5 teams. Not in any order. The Ohio State Buckeyes. I think you would probably agree with me on that.
Yep.
The Oregon Ducks. I think you would probably agree with me on that. Dante Moore's the real deal. It's been a real deal since he was at UCLA. I think he's a baller. Ohio State, which you could talk however you want to. Obviously got Julian Sand at quarterback, but you got J.J. Smith. They got, elite rosters. Both those teams, super elite rosters. Team number 3, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, of course.
Not going to shock anybody.
No, they just went 15-0, won the national championship. 17, whatever it was, won the national.
A lot of them.
Won the national championship, won the Heisman. No, of course.
They're going to be.
Who's their quarterback?
Hoover
Josh Hoover.
Josh Hoover was at TCU.
Gotcha.
Their defense is going to be the real deal. So, that's going to allow, like, what they got to do with Hoover. I think to win the thing, can they win it? Yes, they can win it. Cignetti's elite. They got elite defense, the whole deal. Really big thing for Indiana to have the defense that they're going to have, because Hoover's got to get out of the air raid mindset, and he's got to get into taking care of the football, making better decisions, and he'll have a running game to do that. He kind of pressed for me last year. He's immensely talented, but he would get in games and press and make mistakes. I don't think he has to do that in Indiana, but that being that good on defense will allow them to get into that. And then the last 2 will probably surprise you.
Okay.
Number 4, not in any order, the Penn State Nittany Lions. People are like automatically, no. Like, Penn State's schedule is uber navigable to get to 10 wins. And I don't care. I know we just said this about the ACC. I will kiss your ass and give you in the square and give you 30 minutes to draw a crowd if a 10-win Big 10 or a 10-win SEC team does not get in the playoffs.
I will just tell you that I have no interest in that scenario at all. None.
But
I understand your point.
Yes, and it will happen. And I think they have a very good, and it's basically they took Iowa State's team and they moved them to State College, right? Rocco Beck, still the quarterback, was the quarterback at Iowa State last year. So coaches, a lot of similarities there. And they've obviously recruiting well, portal well, they had more resources there. So they are I think getting to 10 with Kendall and those guys is a easier thing done than not. And the last team, Neal, that I have that I think can make the playoffs of the Big 10 is the USC Trojans.
Okay.
If USC can, and they have, interesting enough, them and Miami both have homegrown a ton of players. Like, you start really looking at their rosters, they've homegrown a lot. Didn't go super portal heavy. I think there's like 9 guys they got, something like that. But if they can find a pulse on defense, okay, and they've got the people in place to do so, they're going to be a bitch now in the Big 10.
Okay,
because they're going to be good on offense. And so if they can but that's always been the thing, right? He's going to be under tremendous pressure I guess if you want to call it tremendous pressure, that's a whole nother thing. How much pressure do you think a coach really feels about keeping his job when he goes, okay, but if you fire me, you owe me $50 million.
I don't think there is any pressure because you remind yourself every day, be yourself, coach. And if they fire you, you're set for
You're
life.
good.
Yeah.
But look, I think
I doubt if at this point it's money that motivates Lincoln Riley.
He wouldn't be in the position,
right?
But I think if they can get it matched up, I think they're going to be good on offense. All right, anybody else in the Big Ten that you think or disagree with
has a path?
Yeah.
So Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, for sure. Probably USC. There's a way there. I'll tell you the team that's interesting, and you would know more about them than I do. I just heard some buzz about them that their schedule's favorable. Can Iowa get to 10-2? And I'm not doing the Neal Iowa thing. I've heard some people talking about Iowa. Can Iowa get to 10-2?
I think it's close. But you still have the same. One of the bigger issues with Iowa is style of play. It fits for them. So I'm not suggesting that they change what they're doing.
Here's their schedule. Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Iowa State is at Iowa this year.
Mm-hmm.
That game's typically close and typically won by the home team.
Yep.
Northern Iowa, at Michigan, Ohio State at home. So there's your first L, definite L. At Washington, at Minnesota, home against Wisconsin, at Northwestern, home against Purdue, at Illinois, Nebraska at home. I mean, there's not. I mean, there's some tosses in there, but there's one guaranteed L.
Where they are an interesting team for both parties, right? Is their style of play makes traditional Big Ten games. I mean, it's one possession games. So if they're playing, Minnesota, if they're going to play Minnesota, Neal, it's the same thing. They played like last year. They played Indiana. Indiana was more of a, their styles matched up. Hell, they damn near beat Indiana last year. But if it comes down to somebody on offense that's can be less than them or better, but if the other team has a good defense, everything's going to be a one-possession game, then you flip a coin. So they'd have to win a bunch of coin flips to get there. Can they do it? Yes. But they also can get beat by somebody that, like I thought, was it 2 years ago? Now, Iowa State's been good, but they probably had the better team in some of these Cyhawk trophy games, and they ended up losing them.
Yeah. No,
because
they
of
definitely
a field
did.
goal and field position.
They
these games
did.
are 13-9, 21-20. You know what I'm saying?
Late last season, they started scoring points. And so you kind of wonder, did they figure some things out offensively? Now, defensively, they took a step back.
Now, when they go play teams like USC and teams like that, they can go run the ball on and do things, and you can see matchups. But I just think they're a matchup team. Anybody besides Iowa, though?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
And that's one of the reasons. So out of that group, who do I think can win the national title? Ohio State, Indiana, and probably Oregon. And that's as far as I go.
Well, I would say definitely Oregon, definitely Ohio State, and definitely Indiana. I think those three teams, in my opinion, will be as good as any team in the country in any league.
Okay.
See, all you folks think I'm a Big Ten hater. I think those three teams are as good as any team in the country. If they came to the SEC, they'd be a threat to win it. Any three of those teams. But I think their rosters and everything they have in place with quarterback play and the whole deal, I think is just the way things fit. I think those three teams are truly elite teams. I think Penn State can get there. I don't think they're there yet to win it. Same thing with USC, just defensively. I don't know if they're good enough to do the whole thing. All right. The Big 12, Neal. This is going to be the most interesting. Like if you're a football junkie, which I am, I may enjoy watching. I'll always enjoy watching the SEC, but Big 12 may be my second favorite league to watch this year.
Okay.
Because I think so. You got Texas Tech. Okay, anybody gonna argue with that one? You got Texas Tech. And then after that, Neal, there is just a gaggle of teams that are good enough to beat teams, but could also, what I'm saying? Like there's going to be a lot of parity. There's a lot of what I call tier 2 teams under Texas Tech.
Yep.
One would be BYU. I think BYU is going to be good. And this goes into, injuries and all that stuff, but I think they're good enough to win the league. Let me tell you who's going to be really good this year. nobody's talking about. I briefly mentioned it a few weeks ago. The Houston Cougars, Willie Fritz and the crew.
Oh,
they're going to be really good. You always got Arizona State. They're going to do their thing. And let me tell you who's going to have something to say about all this year. Do you know who's going to have something to say about the old Big 12 this year?
I don't.
It's my guy up in Morgantown, West Virginia. My boy Rich Rod is going to be a little bit better than what, and he's just sneakily hanging in there. So, do you know who he got? And you know what kind of offense he likes to run, right? Rich Rod.
Yes.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
And what was it that you got him on film that day?
Thumb
up the ass.
Thumb up the ass.
Whatever it was.
Something like that.
That was great. Made me laugh. We laughed about that.
Isn't that funny? Oh, everybody at Ole Miss was all freaked out. You have to take that down. And I found out later that the coaches thought it was hilarious.
We were dying laughing. We pulled it up on the staff room.
I mean, the thing was I was standing over there. I was the only one filming it. He knew I was filming. He could have come over and been like, "Hey, don't film this."
Hey, now that
you don't want to get me started on this.
No, I don't.
No, I do.
You want rain? Crack it open.
So Deion Sanders in Colorado are doing this weird media thing where it's like you can come to practice, but you can't do anything that's journalistic. Here's the catch, man. And listen, a lot of coaches that are watching this, a lot of coaches are watching this. Let me give you a media perspective. A media perspective.
Well,
hold on.
I know, but before you got to remember this, though. You got to remember this. I know where you're going with this. But you got to remember what's the percentage, in your opinion, of the people going to practice that are actually media versus fans?
I realize this. So here's the thing. If I were a college coach, I would not let media at my practice because there's too many of you. But here's what you can't do. And you guys have to stop doing this. You guys have to stop doing this.
You yelling at me like I ever said anybody couldn't go to practice.
No. You were but I get why you
fucking go ahead.
I get why college coaches don't want us there. I totally understand it. I get it. There's too many in my thing that are fanboys and they're out there and there's nobody over them. They don't have editors. They don't understand what the hell they're doing. They just vomit information and they create problems for you. I get it. But when you guys say come out to practice for 4 periods or whatnot, but you can't report things you see, you are putting people like me in a really bad ethical spot. You're putting me in a really bad spot because I have 3 choices. 1, I can politely decline the invitation. And when I don't go to the practice and my competitors do and my subscribers say, "Where were you?" I didn't go. Well, you suck, you're lazy, because there's no nuance.
Hurts your business.
There's no nuance. I can come to practice and I can follow your rules, at which point I'm basically a fan and I'm not reporting things that I saw. Why? Well, it's to protect your program. No part of my job is to protect your program. It's not part of the assignment. If y'all win a ring, I don't get a ring. You win the national championship. You guys get bonuses.
You don't get the bowl bonus.
I don't get a bowl bonus. So that's not part of the deal. Or I can report what I saw, and now I violated the rules that you put in that I'd never really agreed to. So if you don't want things reported that reporters see at practice, there's a very easy solution. Don't let reporters come to practice. Now, if you're worried about, you got your media relations people telling you, well, the fans really want, let me tell you what the fans want you to do. Win. The fans want you to win. Okay? If you win, the fans are never going to give the slightest damn about whether you didn't let media into practice. And on the flip side, you can have the most wide open, accessible practices ever. And if your ass loses, they're not going to be like, well, I tell you what, I love Coach Johnson. He really let the media cover practice back in August.
We'll give him another year.
Well, let's give him another year, even though we think we should have gone 11-1 and we went 6-6. That's not happening either. So, but the deal is this deal where you're trying to split the baby, it doesn't work. And you have to stop. You guys have to stop this. Because what Deion's doing is he's just putting it all in writing out there and being a complete ass. But a lot of college coaches are basically doing the same thing without meaning to be an ass. And it just doesn't work. If you don't want media to report things that it sees at practice, don't let them see practice. But you have to stop asking media to come to your practice and not be reporters. It's putting them in a really bad ethical spot. Off soapbox.
I get it. I mean, I see both sides. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I see both sides. I 100% see what you're talking about. Part two of that, I'm going. You know, I get accused of being the coach defender on here, so I'm going to be the coach defender. Part two of that, from the coach's perspective, okay, is what percentage? I'm asking you because that's your field.
Yep.
What percentage do you think of actual people? When I say the beat, I'm talking about people that are there every day, right? They're at all the press conferences.
And I can't speak to every beat,
but the beats that
I know of, yes,
are actual. But they're not only quote unquote covering that from a beats perspective, journalist perspective, but that are also fans of said program in today's world.
90+%.
Okay, so you got 90+%. So from a coach's standpoint, they don't want to piss off the media. That's not what they wake up to do, because that's just problems that you don't need.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like from that aspect, it's like, hey guys, I don't mind. They want you to be out there. Hey, come. We don't care if you hang out, you know, but just don't go. So, but from a strictly journalist standpoint, it's really bad. But also, you don't want to. Hey, if you went out and said, hey, practice is closed, you know, it's just, well, this has happened. This has happened, Neal, recently. Practice is closed. There are people that are going to be like, screw that guy, and then start turning on him, and then get all the freaking fans all in an uproar because he's pissed off because he lost access.
All you got to do is win.
I'm with you. Agree. But you don't need to create problems either. So it's a catch-22.
I get it.
I agree with you.
I get it, but
I agree with you. I told the story on TikTok that
it's mostly my field's fault. Let me be clear. It's mostly my field's fault. Now, the sport's all screwed up with the portal and all the crazy shit. And it's not my field's fault that Johnny Thug down the street is a, quote, street agent who represents 6 of your players. That's not a me problem. I get why that causes you problems. I totally get it. I get why depth charts in August create problems at a time when you're trying to focus. I totally understand. But when you say you can't report guys that aren't practicing when you see them not practicing, then you can't let me come out there.
Yeah, so exactly, like, and again, I come from the football coaching background, you come from the journalistic background. Like, from the football part of it, it'd be like, dude, you can come out here and write about whatever you want to. Just don't put a depth chart out who's injured in a trick play. And we think like, oh, that guy's a journalist. He can write 800,000 articles except for that. And so, but I understand now that I've been over here with you, I understand your side too, to where, no, that's what they want to hear. That's what reporting is. And so I see both sides of it, but yeah, I wouldn't, it's just got to come down to that. You got to, you know, I had a conversation with a young person yesterday, matter of fact, a young 18-year-old. And I was like, hey, you know, he was asking me about coaching and things like that. And I was like, look, you'll learn the one thing that you got to learn if you're ever getting into college coaching, especially, and you're a young person and you're getting there. And by the way, I got told we had someone at Ole Miss. I won't say that. We had someone that worked in there and met them, and they watched our show, said hello, said you do a great job. They love your show.
That's nice of them.
You got to learn how to keep your mouth shut, and that's the most important thing inside of inside of a football building in college.
Mm-hmm.
You see things every day.
Yep.
Every day. And you know this because I've told you things privately. But if I really wanted to just go viral, we could do a show every hour, and I could tell a story that would probably put people in danger, that would break the damn internet. But I don't wake up choosing violence, Neal. But there's a lot of stories. The best stories that we could tell to go viral, I can't even talk about. Now, you know some of them.
Yeah.
But, and you know why I can't tell them. But you know, it is what it is. So there you go. I don't even remember how we got on that tangent.
I don't either. We're halfway through the deal though. So let me tell you.
Tell me about some friends.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We talk about mental health more openly now, but asking for help can still feel hard. BetterHelp's latest research confirms it. BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans, revealed that 85% of Americans believe getting support is wise, yet 74% say society discourages people from doing so. Unfortunately, there's clearly a gap between believing in mental health support and actually seeking it. I've sought out and received therapy. For me, it was a game changer. In my mind, there's no stigmas attached. And with more than 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 6 million people globally, and it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on more than 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you're not happy with your match, it's okay. Switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. So sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/MPW. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. Hey, when people hear that Mint Mobile plans are only $15 a month, a lot of people wonder, what's the catch? Well, I can tell you from firsthand experience, there isn't one. There are no gimmicks, no gotchas, just unlimited talk, text, and data, fast, reliable coverage on the nation's largest 5G network, and an award-winning care team. I guess that makes Mint Mobile a catch. Mint Mobile took what's wrong with wireless, made it right with premium wireless for $15 a month. You can even bring your current phone and your number. Choose from 3, 6, or 12-month plans. Say goodbye to a monthly bill. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile. So easy. Sign up online. Get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. That's it. No catch. $45 upfront payment required. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, we interrupted each other. We were talking Big 12.
Yeah, well, I remember when you were doing your read there. West Virginia quarterback got Michael Hawkins from Oklahoma, and talking about a fit over. We were talking about Rich Rod's offense. Talking about a fit, and look, Zach Alley, the coordinator to look for in the future. Like, and Rich Rod got mad at me when I said this last time. He's like, "Damn it, I'm trying to keep him." Zach Alley is a young defensive coordinator. Guy's freaking as good as they come now. He was at Monroe. He was at Monroe with him. Went to Jacksonville State. Went to Oklahoma for 1 year with Venables, and then he went to go when Rich Rod got the job at West Virginia. He went with him to West Virginia. Zach Alley is the real deal. I've had a chance to visit with him when he was at Jacksonville State. This guy's sharp, knows his shit. He's on top of it. Like, can really call a game. I mean, in a weird way, I probably he's like Venables, like a younger version. Like, he just seems to have the perfect play call all the time. I think he is great, elite. So I think it's a good match there. Obviously, Rich thinks the same thing, same way I do. He probably obviously higher because he's hired him at 2 different spots, brought him in 2 different spots. But defensively, they're going to be better. And then if they can get some production, like that's the thing with Zach is like every defense is better if you can get production from front four, but he can find a way to get pressure. I mean, he's really good. And then I think with Rich Rod being their second year culture wise and all that stuff and no one to spec, I think they're going to be much improved. So I'm excited to watch them play this fall. But they'll beat people they're not supposed to beat. And look, if you're a fan of college football, when you going to Morgantown's a tough trip.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
Morgantown's cool. You ever been?
No, and I got to go.
Morgantown's a neat town.
I've talked to Rich about this. I gotta go.
Actually the times that I went, Rich Rodriguez was the coach at West Virginia.
He was.
Pat White was his quarterback.
He's pretty good. He was pretty good.
I was at the Mobile Register.
Mm-hmm.
Pat White was from Daphne. Is from Daphne.
He is.
He's still around. Pat was at the time was the quarterback at West Virginia, and there was a ton of interest in West Virginia, and they were very, very good.
Do you know what St. Paul Saint was also on those teams?
It was a linebacker, right?
Safety. Close enough.
Yeah.
My guy, Steve Hale's son.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, played for me at St. Paul's my first year.
That
Shout
team
out
had
Trip.
Steve Slayton.
He's now a strength coach.
Noah Devine.
St. Paul's, low-key, St. Paul's has got 2 former players that are strength coaches in college football.
How about that?
All right. Neal, we're going to finish this up with the Southeastern football.
All right, so I'll tell you real quick. My Big 12 teams.
I'm sorry.
My Big 12 teams that I think can make the playoffs.
Okay.
Texas Tech for sure.
Yeah, that's easy.
I think there's a path for BYU.
Agree.
Think there's probably a path for Utah. And that's where I stop.
I just want I want to see it.
Teams out of the Big 12 that I think could win the national championship, not a damn one.
I think there's one.
Okay.
I think Texas Tech can do it. I think their roster is good enough to do it. Here's my thing with Texas Tech. The only holdup I have of them, they're the only team I think can win it out of the Big 12. My only holdup with Texas Tech is kind of, you saw that last year, is Texas Tech, according to the numbers and all the shit that people do, the FPIs and all that shit, has the weakest schedule in the Power Four. So my only holdup, besides the Brendan Source, Will Hammond's going to be fine because he's got too much talent around him. And it's not like Will Hammond's like, the normal backup quarterback. He's a good player. All right. And if he's practicing, he's healthy. I know he came back from injury or whatever. But regardless of the Sorsby stuff, they're so good at the other spots. My only holdup is they don't play a difficult schedule. Then all of a sudden you just throw them into the playoffs, and they got to go play in Oregon, or they got to go play in Ohio State, or they got to go play. And then are they battle tested enough in versus opponents like that?
Yeah.
And it's not just one game.
My answer is probably not.
If you told me this was the 4-team playoff, Neal, okay,
yeah,
in the old days,
yeah,
okay, and they went undefeated, and the way they used to do it, they get the number 1 seed, and all of a sudden they play a 4th seed and they win. They got to win 1 or 2 games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
But now you're going to have to win, even if they're, let's call them a top 4 seed.
You got to win 3 games.
You got to win 3, doing it boom to boom to boom.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
And if they make the playoffs, is my opinion, they will be a team getting a bye. So they won't play a game for 3.5, 4 weeks. And the team that they play will, in all likelihood, be a battle-tested SEC or Big Ten team.
Yeah, that's why.
So I just think they get popped.
That's my only hold up on them. Is that's what got them last year. Okay,
and I think it gets them this year too.
And
for the record, I think they're making the playoffs. I think they're winning the Big 12.
But I am,
and then I think they're losing on one of the quarterfinal games to a Big 10 or SEC team that pops them square in the mouth.
But I do think their roster just.
I do too, and when it happens, people will go, they suck, and it's like, no, they don't suck. That's not it. What it is when you play in that league, you don't play enough of the high caliber games that you do in the other leagues, and you're just not as tested.
Yeah, and it's just adversity hits, and it's the first time you've been down 2 scores all year, and then how do your guys respond? And you're in December, and guys are either thinking about transferring or they're getting agents in their ear going to NFL. It's a lot.
And you're playing a team that probably finished hot and has already won a playoff game.
Yeah. All right, Southeastern Football Conference, Neal.
Yes, sir.
I got 7. No order here. Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama.
Yes, that's correct.
And that is to get to the playoffs. If you made me pick 8, like Tennessee's the one that I think schedule-wise is most navigable. If, Faison Brandon's the quarterback, I'm just betting against history here with true freshman quarterbacks. But they have if they get great he'd have to be elite quarterback play, but they have the schedule to do it. They're going to win plenty of games. Heupel's a great coach. And Neal, when you just look at the rosters, right, and you really go in there and you break them down, it's so difficult. Like, I can paint pictures for all of these teams to have great years. When you look at Georgia's a young team overall, but he's grown. Like, Georgia's, hey, we're going to recruit well, and then we've supplemented with the portal. Okay. But all these young players and their young team, they've played before. It's not like they haven't played. So he's doing it. Every team builds a roster differently. Texas roster, when you look at it from top to bottom, it's just hard not to say they have. I mean, they're one of the best, if not the best roster in college football.
Yeah, it's one of the 2 or 3 best rosters in college football,
it's
and
scary.
They have a quarterback who the NFL absolutely loves, who has experience now.
Yeah, and I know it. And everybody was quick to hate on the guy last year. Imagine a first-year starter not playing terribly great to start the year. But they're like, man, he sure did finish strong. Well, imagine that. A first-year starter ends up playing well towards the end of the year. Shocker.
Played really well late.
He did.
Yeah.
Texas A&M. if you woke up and told me Texas A&M was winning the whole damn thing, I think Texas A&M's elite.
I do too.
I think Marcel Reed. I know there's a lot of questions on that.
He's the to me, and I like Marcel.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person, I like Marcel. I think he's a really good kid, young man, not a kid. I do wonder, can he make the plays to win 3 or 4 playoff games? And realistically, most of these SEC teams are going to have to win 4 playoff games. And I'll tell you, I covered a team that won 2 last year and damn near won a third. It is a slog.
It's a grind.
It is a grind. Now they have fixed it a little bit this year. And I'm not making excuses for Ole Miss because Miami had the same stuff. But man, that third game, they played Georgia on the night of January 1st. And then turned around and played Miami on January 8th. And in between, you had portal and travel. And
yeah, it's calendar fucks.
It was a slog. Now, they've backed up that semifinal game to another week. So some of that gets alleviated. But, man, that third game, both Miami and Ole Miss were playing their third game. And that night, I thought both teams showed some fatigue.
Yeah. I think I like Marcel Reed. I think he's got the right stuff about him. Does he have to improve as a passer? Yes. But it's not like detriment. There's just a couple of fundamental things. He sells it a little bit. And I think with his experience and his character, I think and his mindset, competitive, I think he's going to be fine. I like Texas A&M. The next one, Neal, the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm high on Oklahoma.
I am too. And here's why. You know what they're going to be on defense because they always are. They've surrounded Mateer with some better weapons this time, and he's healthy. And last year, unhealthy, without a lot of weapons, they only lost 2 games. I don't really know where all the Oklahoma hate comes from people. They lost to Texas in the Cotton Bowl thing, and they lost to Ole Miss in a game that could have gone either way in the fourth quarter. That's it. They won the other games.
You got they got what they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 portal guys, I guess, on offense. And then defensively, this is what's interesting. On offense, if you look at their 2 deep on offense, okay, just let's talk about their 2 deep. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of their 22 are portal guys, okay?
Yep.
On defense, they only have 1 starter that's going to be a portal guy. So what does that tell me?
It's his guys.
And so I know you're losing guys, you're replacing guys.
He's damn good.
But when you've been in that system for a while, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
100%. Everybody's like, well, are they going to be as good as they were last year?
Trinidad Shambles talked about how
yes.
Trinidad Shambles talked about how challenging it was to go against that defense a year ago.
Well, they're good, dude. But yeah, I mean, I got them there. I think they're going to be a good football team. Again, SEC tough ass schedule, but still, I like it. All right, the next team, Neal, you may have heard of them, the Ole Miss Rebels. The Ole Miss Rebels. I am almost astonished at some of the takes out there. Where I'm at, like I don't have even questions about, is this team, like, people are like, oh, well, last year they did this, they're gonna drop off. And here's what's coming, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss's schedule is night and day different than what it was a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Much harder.
I'm 100%. I think Ole Miss's football team is, as a team, as a collective, is night and day better than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, I don't know about the offensive line, and I don't know about the receivers. The receivers are damn good. I'm like, people are complaining about that.
Yeah,
that's the part that
they'll be good at receiver.
They're going to be good at receiver.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to be good at receiver. And then everybody's like, well, who's going to play tackle, or what are we going to do at this spot?
They feel really good about one tackle. They're worried about the second tackle.
Again,
and then they're really worried about the third tackle.
If this was 10 years ago, it's a valid concern, I think. In today's football, nobody is going to practice day going, by God, we're great up front. Everybody has the same problems. And so when everybody has the same problem, it's no longer a problem. It's just what it is.
It is what it is.
I think defensively, night and day, they're going to be better. You know, if you had anything going into the season, like just looking outside in, I have worked for guys that were head coaches that called plays and things like that. I think Pete, and he's addressed it publicly. He doesn't talk very often publicly as much as the last guy, but he has addressed it publicly. I think it's one of the smartest things he's done is to delegate.
Yeah,
because being a head coach at this level, like it's night and day. And it's not a surprise. I worked with Freeze at Arkansas State, okay, and he was the head coach and play caller. And then I worked with him at Ole Miss the next year where he was the head coach and the play caller.
Mm-hmm.
The time constraints pulled on a SEC head coach versus a Sun Belt coach versus it's night and day. Now, like, because there's just so many things for them to do. I mean, everything, there's so much shit that comes up that has absolutely nothing to do with football that you got to sign off on, you got to know about. You got this, you got that, you got this, you got that, you got that. I mean, it's just so many things going on. And for him to be able to trust and delegate that is going to allow him to be the defensive coordinator. But you know, that's the thing with me is I think Ole Miss is, if you just looked at the team, I think the team's going to be much better than they were a year ago. Now the schedule is more difficult, and so the second they drop a game or whatever, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Pete Gold." It's had nothing to do with that, and it's just it's more of a more difficult road to hoe than everything else. And you know, when it comes to Ole Miss, and it's the same thing. We'll talk about LSU next. You know, both of those teams I think are capable teams. We'll go ahead and talk about it. LSU's I think a playoff team. Both of those teams' biggest games of the year is not September 19th. It's the next week.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has to go to Florida. And then LSU has to go play Texas A&M at home. Okay, and you win, lose, or draw, they got to flush it. And I believe I heard you say this on one of your 874,219 interviews you've been doing lately. I don't know if it's a podcast or what, but the winner of this league, if you go back and like look at the whole deal, they responded the best because I think everybody's gonna get punched in the face.
Do too. I think everybody's losing the game,
and so they're gonna get who responds the best. And so that's and stays healthy.
I'll just say this about Ole Miss really quick. Talking to people inside and around the program very consistently, they will tell you they think the defense is going to be really good, maybe elite. There are people there who think it's a better.
Fair.
There are people who think it's a better defense than the one they had in 2024, which was a special defense, especially up front. They're going to be significantly better at linebacker. Frankly, they weren't very good at linebacker a year ago. It cost them and damn near cost them other times. And then I think they're going to be, assuming they stay healthy, and I think you can say this about every team that we're talking about, is assuming they stay healthy. Assuming they stay healthy, I think they're going to be very, very good in the secondary, borderline elite. Pete's a really good defensive coach, much like Brent Venables. And then they have a special quarterback. They have what I think is the nation's best running back in Kewan Lacey. They've got receivers. They've got question marks at offensive line. We've covered this ground. They've got a very good kicker, a very good punter. It's an experienced team. It's a veteran team. I mean, we'll do this in a minute, but I think people have asked me what's Ole Miss's ceiling. I think the ceiling is winning the national championship.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be good. The next team, Neal, speaking of September 19th, the LSU Bengal Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they got, I think it's like 18 or 19 in the two deep on offense in the portal. They got great players. You know, Sam, the health is probably the biggest thing, but all signs point to he's healthy, but we'll see. Because they don't really have a lot behind him, you know, so if something were to happen to Sam Levitt, it would probably affect them. But, you know, the one that I'm kind of, I think will be really good in Lane's offense that, you know, everybody's talking about, everybody else is Eugene Wilson from Florida. Eugene Wilson, the third, is an elite player from Florida. Transfer, I think he's going to have a big year in that offense. I think that offense fits him well. But I think he'll do really well. But they got a bunch of portal guys, and if you told me that LSU has a great – they are going to go, in my opinion, LSU's got the roster. They're going to go as far as Sam Levitt can take them. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's had moments where he looks like the dude, and he's had moments where you're like, eh. You know, he hasn't been –
yeah.
It's not every week that you're like, damn, that guy. You know, so
I think he's the reason compared to some of the other quarterbacks we've talked about, Arch, Trinidad, Mateer. I think he's the reason why I'm not as high on them. But listen, some of the people that are doing this whole LSU is going to lose 6-game stuff. You guys are out of your minds.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Tough ass schedule.
Tough schedule, but everybody's got a tough schedule. It's a really talented roster. It's an expensive roster. They've got some elite players just about all over the field.
Probably got the best offensive lineman in college football.
Yeah, Seton. And then, they've got a really good coaching staff.
Yeah.
Baker's a terrific defensive coach. Charlie Weiss Jr. is a terrific offensive coach. And look, people can do all the Kiffin stuff you want to. It's cool. I mean, there's a lot of idiosyncrasies there. We can talk about the way he left Ole Miss, all those things. Here's what. Even people who despise the man will tell you that on game day in live moments, he's incredibly good at recognizing what a defense is doing. He
is he may be the best I've ever seen in the field ever. And that's a lot of dudes. He's damn good, but they're legit. And the last team, Neal, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama's is pretty simple. I think they're younger, but they're going to be really good on defense. Restructured offensive line, got all new coaches, the whole deal. Really simple with Alabama. Alabama will go as far as the quarterback can take them. Yeah. Whether that's Keelan Russell or whether that's Mack, whatever it is, they will go as far. Who's going to win the job? I don't know. We'll all find out together. I trust that they have some really good coaches there. I trust them. But I think they're talented, shocker. But I think they're going to be pretty good. And somebody's like, I think they can contend for a playoff spot? Yes. Do I think now here's my next one. How many teams in the SEC do you think can win the national title?
Texas. I'm going to surprise you here. I'm not putting Georgia on this list.
Okay.
I'm not going to put A&M on this list.
Okay.
I am going to put Oklahoma on this list.
Okay.
I am going to put Ole Miss on this list.
Okay.
I'm not going to put LSU on the list because I don't trust Leavitt to win 4 playoff games. Now I will tell you, I kind of have a feeling LSU is going to make the playoffs. Okay. I don't know why. I think they're going to be really good. And I don't know about Alabama. Alabama's my wild card because I don't know enough about their quarterback play, and they're such a young team. But I think the 3 SEC teams that I would put money on and feel good about are Texas, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, believe it or not, to win the thing.
Yeah.
Now, to make the playoffs, look, I don't know, man. I mean, this is where we could get repetitive, and we're way too long into the show to do it. I don't know whether a 9-3 SEC team can get in. I don't know. We don't know. We've covered this ground. I don't know. No one does. The SEC's never played a 9-game conference schedule. We don't know how the committee is going to look at that. So you don't know. Any of those SEC teams that got in that we just talked about would be dangerous in a playoff. But especially the ones that have really good quarterbacks and defense. And so you'd have to put A&M back into that mix too. Look, Elko's team's going to be good.
All those teams we talked about?
Well, I mean, yeah. To win a game, to win 2 games, absolutely. Like how many, if you were to take this back and say, how many of those SEC teams do you think could make the national semifinals? I'd be like 7. And to me, that's the whole point of the league is, well, let me do my ULM math here.
Oh, there you go. Get your toes out.
If you have 7 and you only have 4 spots at ULM, what we used to do when we tried to learn this number's too big, we would play ring around the rosy.
Oh.
Like we'd go out to like one of the local cow pastures.
What, Red Rover?
And we would set up like hay bales. And you would go around.
You haven't seen a hay bale your whole life.
They would play the music. And when it stopped, you had to grab one of the hay bales. And if there were only 4 hay bales and you had 7 contestants, at least one of the contestants got eliminated every time. And that's how they taught us math at Louisiana Monroe. And so if you have 7 teams capable of making the playoffs and a maximum of 4 spots, people are going to knock each other out. Like and that's why at the end of the year, and fans are going to do the thing fans do. They suck. They sucked. No, they didn't. They played in the wrong league. Because listen, if you let me take Ole Miss or LSU or Oklahoma and put their ass in the ACC or the Big 12, they're winning it. Okay? They're maybe running through it because coaches would be able to rest guys. Like you'd be able to go, hey, you know what? Our right tackle's a little banged up. We don't need him today against freaking Baylor. We don't need him today against Wake Forest. Let's just let him rest. Let's play the kid. Yeah, the kid's not very good. We'll figure it out. Hey, our running back's a little banged up. Let's just give him a day off. You can do that in the Big 12, a handful of those games. You can do that in the ACC on damn near all of those games. We're playing Boston College. Let's just play the third team guy. You do that in the SEC, you get beat. And that's the deal. That's why at the end of the year, when some SEC team is going to be a really good team with 4 losses, and fans are going to be like, they suck. And people like me who are kind of into nuance, like, no, they don't suck. They just played the wrong league, man.
What's the same thing with, I was doing this the other day on live too. I think it shocked people. Like right now, because all the predictions and everything.
Triple Mass said I learned it the right way because this is how they teach Common Core today. Apparently with hay bales and stuff.
Shocker. But like right now, if I said, and you hear it everywhere, Arkansas, terrible. They're not going to win a game. Do you know Arkansas was like a couple of balls bouncing the right way to win like 8 games last year?
You want to do a fun little thing real quick?
I love fun
little thing real quick. Let's pick a Big 12 team.
Any Big 12 team?
Yeah, just pick a Big 12 team.
West Virginia Mountaineers. Shout out to my boys.
I'm going to do West Virginia football schedule. Okay. And instead of it being West Virginia, it's going to be Arkansas. Does that make sense?
Okay, yep.
So if the game's in Morgantown, the game's in Fayetteville.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
I can paint a picture because at ULM we had to draw pictures a lot. Are you good?
I'm great.
Okay. Coastal Carolina at Arkansas.
Dub.
UT Martin at Arkansas.
Dub. Shout out to my man Jason Simpson.
Arkansas at Virginia.
Loss.
Okay, 2-1. Oklahoma State at Arkansas.
Loss.
Oh, really? You think they lose to Oklahoma State?
This year they do.
Okay. Arkansas at Iowa State. L.
Loss.
Arizona at Arkansas.
Loss.
Where are we? Cincinnati at Arkansas.
Win.
Arkansas at TCU. Toss. Arkansas at Texas Tech. Loss. Kansas at Arkansas.
Loss. It's a tough one, but toss.
Houston at Arkansas.
Loss.
And then Arkansas at Utah, a game they actually will play.
We'll find out. Loss.
So it's not terribly different.
Well, yeah, but I say that. I'm just throwing things out there, okay?
See, I think Arkansas would have a legitimate shot to beat Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they got a really good quarterback, and they took their whole team with them, so they're going to beat systems early in the year. The thing about it that you forget, right? It's like you go back and you look at everybody's like, "Oh, Arkansas sucks," Arkansas this. Everybody, they they're not going to win a game and all this stuff, right? And you base it off because you look. 99% of people don't even watch the games. They look at the record or whatever it is. But here's what they seem to like forget. Okay, Arkansas started out 2-0 last year, and they lose game 3 at Ole Miss. Okay, you covered that game. They had the ball damn near in the red zone. Nobody was stopping anybody. They're a fumble away, Neal, from winning that game. Do we agree with that? Against Ole Miss last year?
Yes.
Okay.
A fumble. I'm having a really, really good chance. And a fumble at Memphis from winning the game.
That was the next week. Okay. Well, they were going to go up 1 against Ole Miss late in the game. Then they fumble at the 5 the next week. They'd have been 1-2. They'd been 4-0 going to Notre Dame, which they wasn't going to win. They lost that. The next week, they had the freaking lead, and they lose late in the game to Tennessee, 34-31. If the ball bounces the other way, what's the score? Then they turn around the next week, and they lose to Texas A&M, who made the playoffs, 45-42. So that's 2 back to back. Okay. They get beat by Auburn. Okay. They lose by a field goal to Mississippi State. They lose to LSU by 1. And so you start looking at all this stuff like they suck, but like the ball bounces the wrong way. We're having a different conversation about them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And the same thing with Mississippi State. Mississippi State, well, they lose 2 overtime games or whatever it was.
Well,
They had a 17-point lead, 17-point lead against Texas. They throw the pick in field goal range down by 2 against Florida on a zone dropper. I mean,
sure.
There's going to be people upset people, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, not to belabor the point on Arkansas, but I mean, how different is their season if they beat Ole Miss and Memphis and some of those close games that they lost? They might have been a completely different team.
Yeah, maybe. But my point is like everybody's like, they suck. And it's like because they look at the record, and you're like, guys, they ain't.
I mean, I just got through covering a basketball team that went 4-14 in the league, and I argued on my own message board all year when people are like, they suck. And I'm like, they don't suck. They just haven't figured out how to win.
Yeah.
There's a difference between sucking and just not being quite good enough.
All right. Before we get out of here, real quick, what was your opinion on the Jaden Daniels cease and desist? I've been asked about this 87 times a day.
First, I'm going to tell you that we're brought to you by Outdoor Underwriters. That's okay.
How about that?
Everyone loves the outdoors, but you want to make sure your hunt club or your timberland is covered. Outdoor Underwriters provides the insurance you need at a price that makes sense. They provide liability protection for occurrences arising out of activities and operations of your hunt club. Its members, guests, invitees, agents, or employees take comfort in blind and tree stand liability, mobile equipment liability, hunting dog liability, and more. They are endorsed by the National Deer Association, the Wild Turkey Federation, the Alabama Forest Owners Association, and the Forestry Associations of Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana. You can access those association websites, of course, or you can just call Outdoor Underwriters at 866-961-4101 or online at outdoorund.com. I don't know all of the details on what Jaden Daniels wants. He clearly, or the people around him, are clearly frustrated that
ding ding ding
that LSU is using his name, image, likeness with a number that somebody else is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all of the details on who promised what, who to believe. I've covered Lane long enough to know that Lane is going to put Lane in front of anyone else.
It's a novel idea.
And if he feels like, hey, this is a difference maker, that the only way I can keep him happy and on my team is wearing number 5, that's the number he'll wear.
So a couple things here. All right. I got some inside baseball here. I had some friends that were on that last staff. All right. So again, as Neal just stated, Jaden Daniels has sent a cease and desist for our good friend DJ Pickett to stop wearing the number 5. This is not the first time it's come up. It's just the first time it's been public.
Okay.
So he was promised in recruiting that he could wear the number. That is a fact.
Okay.
There have been many conversations about this in the past. And he did not wear it last year. I think he wore number 3 last year. I think that's right. To the point to where when there were photos taken, like the photo shoots and stuff, that Jaden Daniels was upset that the kid even took a picture in the jersey. Because now hear this out. They weren't even allowed to even let anybody take pictures in the number 9 for Joe Burrow. Okay. So I get all that. All right. I say all that to say this. I side with LSU on this. And here's why. He sends a cease and desist, okay, per LSU's policy from a legality standpoint of the cease and desist. Per their policy, it clearly states, as in January the 1st of 2007, Neal, which was damn near 20 years ago. And that's about the right time, because I was thinking about this. When I played, which is 25 years ago, 26 years ago, when I was a player, nobody gave a shit about single-digit numbers. And like in the first, like about in the mid 2000 zeros, right there, 2005, 6, 7,
yep.
All of a sudden it became this big deal to where it's single digit. And then it turned into this thing where we had to have multiple single digits, and it just became weird really quick. All right. But when that happened, LSU on January the 1st of 2007, it's in policy, it's on their deal. You can go look it up yourself. Okay, it simply and clearly states that jerseys may be worn by any number retired after 2007. Okay, not before 2007, but after 2007, any number, jersey number from that point forward, January 1st of 2007, that's been retired can be worn. One. Number two, it clearly states that you have to be past 5 years of your competition before you're even nominated for your jersey to be retired. Okay. So he's not even in the 5-year window, and they clearly state that even if your jersey is retired, it can be worn. So from a legality standpoint, whatever. Now, when it came to why wasn't the kid wearing it last year, because Brian Kelly has a relationship with Jaden Daniels because he was his quarterback.
Yep.
Okay. And so, yeah, he goes, well, we're not letting Joe Burrow thing. We're not going to do the same thing there, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When it comes to Lane doesn't give it. Like, Lane simply was like, well, Jaden didn't play for me. And this kid he doesn't have a relationship like Brian Kelly had with Jaden Daniels. So Lane, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'd have done the same thing. Lane's being Lane, but Lane's here's the policy. It's what it says. Go wear it, right?
Paying Lane a lot of money to go win games.
Yeah. It's like we are, and then point two is like, this is a bad look for me for like Jaden Daniels. Like, dude, you're fixing to make, I don't even know if they even restructured yet. This guy's going to be a $50-60 million quarterback per AAV whenever his deal comes up. He's going to be one of the higher paid guys in the league. Okay. And now you're going to go bust your, a place that gave you all that. You're going to bust him up for a freaking jersey number. Like, what is that even going to, like, what's he going to make $20,000 off of that? Like, what are you even doing? It's just a bad look. Now, when it comes from inside info, okay, there were conversations had about this with Jaden and this kid before when all this was going on, and he was pissed about it because he wore his jersey number taking a picture. And so that's part of the reason he was pissed about it in the past. And they've had conversations about it, all this stuff, before any of this came up. And then all of a sudden, when Lane gets there, he's letting him wear it. So now I guess it's resurfacing, and Lane probably told him to kick rocks. I don't know. But by policy of what LSU's stating, you can't go retire these jerseys like you're going to run out of numbers, especially when it comes to single digits.
Yep.
I know it sounds dumb, but like it's silly that we're even having this conversation. But I'm kind of like, if LSU's got the policy in there, I don't even know what legally he can do. I just think it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of buster. I'll put it like this. I've been at places where jersey numbers are retired, Neal. I've been at places and we asked them if they could wear their jerseys. You know what every one of them said?
Go for it.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible look for Jaden Daniels and his people. I mean, and they're running the risk of really ruining his legacy there.
Yeah. What number was John Rice Plumlee at Ole Miss? Do you remember?
I don't.
Yeah, I do. 10.
Okay.
Dude, it ain't that big of a deal, dog.
Eli wasn't upset about John Rice wearing his number?
Nope. It's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal.
I mean, people at Florida, we found out today, are wearing Tebow's jersey.
Like, Neal.
I mean, Tebow, like is Florida football.
At Auburn, I think it's Bo Jackson. I'm with some Auburn fans going to be mad at me here.
And Pat Sullivan.
It's Bo Jackson, Pat Sullivan, Tracy Rocker, Cam Newton, Terry Beasley. Get you some of that, Auburn fans. All right. So 88, 7, 34, 74, and 2. All right. So, but even like, I think Cam had a thing with a player one time and he was like, yeah, I mean, but like I don't know. I just think it's at Alabama. You know how many jerseys retired at Alabama that I'm aware of? You think Derrick Henry called and said, hey, you can't wear number 2 anymore?
Has Alabama retired any jerseys?
The answer would be 0.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe they have, but I don't remember. I don't know of any. I don't remember any numbers that couldn't be worn. But
I guess a coach probably couldn't wear a houndstooth hat on the sideline.
That would probably be. That
might be a little sacrilegious.
Yeah. Have I told the story about Coach doing the houndstooth thing?
I'm not sure.
So Coach, the discussion, I'm going to piss off a lot of people here. So the discussion so there was this is probably way inside baseball here. We were in a staff meeting, and the SEC, it never went public, but the SEC was about to redo divisions. Okay. And we're having a staff meeting about it, and they're going to move. I can't remember how they were going to do it, but whatever it was going to do is it was going to put Auburn and Tennessee in the other division.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama was going to be in the other division.
Yeah.
Right. So it had this conversation about the cross division opponents and who would we want to play every year, or what's the most important game to keep? And it came between Auburn and Tennessee. Right. And that was a discussion. And, I was like, I'm from Alabama. So I was like, Coach, it's Auburn. And he was like, he told the story. He goes, I don't know, man. He's like, all these freaking blue hairs. Hey, all these blue hairs that I have to talk to all the time, they don't give a shit about Auburn. All they remind me about is Tennessee, 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 Tennessee. He starts talking about, he thought it'd be Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, all you guys, y'all don't hear this shit, but I do. What y'all don't remember is when I first came here, I was trying to put a little change up because the players came to me and they wanted to have some kind of alternate uniform. And all I did was I approved a houndstooth collar around the jersey for the homecoming game. One game a year, a piece of cloth this effing big right here around that. You'd have thought I pissed on Bear Bryant's grave. I mean, these guys, and that was the last time, so I don't want to hear about changing any of this shit no more. It was great. But he got in trouble for putting the houndstooth.
I remember that
Collar. He said that freaking blue hairs wore his ass out about it.
Yeah. That was kind of sacrilegious. And then he started winning championships. And they were whatever.
I think that was his first
whatever
year.
you need to do, Coach Saban.
I think that was his first year.
I think it was.
When he was like 6-6 and lost to Monroe. I think that was the first year.
They wore it against Ole Miss.
Did they?
I think so.
I think it was the homecoming game. I just remember something like that. But he's like, y'all don't remember that. I remember it. I was like, he's like, they care more about the Tennessee game, the Auburn game. I'm like, well, I mean, it is what it is.
We have been brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push your limits and achieve your goals. You can learn more about them on Instagram at Rain Total Body Fuel.
Neal, in case you get in a car one day, which I have been, I would be driving down old Rice Mine Road down there in Tuscaloosa, and I'd have, this was when Candace had to take her off time, whatever, and I'd have to listen to the phone calls right behind Coach Saban driving down Rice Mine Road after he got through his radio show, and I'm listening, I'm patched in so I can take notes on the phone call. So I'm driving. This is not safe. Y'all don't do this. Okay. But I was driving down the road and I was taking notes at the same time of who he was talking to, what they were saying, all that stuff. So I could put in the kid's file, doing that as we're driving. I could have looked up the wrong way, Neal.
Yeah.
And if you go down like my wife did 4 times in 2.5 years, and she hit Bambi. She did, Neal. She hit Bambi. 4 times she hit Bambi and a curb one time. My wife went through a rough driving stretch there in Tuscaloosa. But in case you hit a curb and all your airbags come out, or you just hit Bambi, you could have taken your car down to the heart of Saraland, Alabama. That's right. You could have taken it to Thompson's Paint and Body Shop. That's right. Thompson's Paint and Body Shop for over 35 years, Neal. For over 35 years. Have been serving people just like you're their neighbor. When you call, they're not some big box chain and they don't answer your call, put you on customer service, some AI bot talks to you all day. Nope, you're getting Don Jr., Matthew Thompson. That's who's picking up the phone, and they're going to take care of your car with a little tender, loving care. So make sure that you take your car right down exit 13, I-65, just north of Mobile, Alabama. We'll be in the heart of Saraland, Alabama. Or if you're like, dude, I just need to I listen to McCready and Siskey. I'm taking my car to people who know what they're doing. You go to thompsonsbodyshop.com or just give them a call at area code 251-675-0884. That's 251-675-0884. How about that?
How about that? We will be back Monday with another edition of The Big Show. Until then, take care. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe. See you soon. Bye.